All right, this is just a little bit of an aside. I wanted to show you the power of Emmet. All right, because I dig it. You might not. That's okay. You don't have to use it. It's just something I'm really enjoying about the new version, the 2017 version of Dreamweaver CC. So I thought I would illustrate it. If you don't care for it, there's no need for you to worry about using it. But I certainly think it's an efficiency, so I'm going to look at it. Okay, I want to take a decent look here at the HTML that we ended up with, right? We've got a div with a wrapper, we've got a header, main, a header, nav, main, we've got an article, and then next to the article we've got a div with an ID section wrapper, and inside the div we've got section, section, section. Okay, and then we come all the way back out of main, and then we've got a footer. Okay. All right, so having kind of implanted that idea in my brain, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of all of this. So there's nothing left, right? There is a link to my style sheet, right? And that's going to be important just for the purpose of this video. But there's nothing else left. Why am I doing this? I just want to show you that in addition to that insert panel, here's another way you can create structure. If you remember the video on Emmet, I can't remember which video it was, but one of the previous videos, you can put in some code if you know the right syntax, and when you hit tab, it'll expand to create the HTML for you. So following through on this, we're going to do body, and then that greater than symbol means that there is a nested element. The next element is nested, right? So the next element is div, and I want to specify that it is div of ID type wrapper. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead then and do another child or a nested element to show that the next thing is inside of wrapper, and that's going to be the header section. Now just to have some placeholder text, I'm going to use this syntax, curly brackets, and the word header, right? And all that's going to do is put some text content inside the header, right? Now, the next item is not nested inside the header. It's at the same hierarchical level as header. So instead of a greater than symbol, I'm going to use the plus sign to show that it's a sibling, not a child, right? And this one's going to be our nav. And once again, I'm going to put in some placeholder text for nav. Okay. Okay. Once again, I'm going to do the sibling operator there, and I'm going to create a section for main. And and then main, I don't want a placeholder, right? I don't want a placeholder. But inside of main, I'm going to create a section called aside, and inside aside, no, not aside, article. Sorry, I forgot which one we used. Article. So inside article, I'm going to put a placeholder text for article. Okay. Now, a sibling of article is, it looks like the sections are siblings of article. But if we look at our DOM right here, actually our DOM doesn't work because we're recreating it. So never mind the DOM for the moment. Oh no, it's still showing what used to be there. So that's handy. No, I clicked on it, now it's gone. All right, anyway, sorry for the distraction on the DOM. The next thing I want to do is I want to remember that I had that div that was a section wrapper. You can still see the style of it up here in our style panel. So I'm going to add a div, and that div is going to be pound section wrapper. And what I want to do is put some placeholder text for each section that says section. Oh, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. I don't want placeholder text at this level. Instead, I want to do a child. And the child is going to be section, right? But there's 3 of them. So first of all, I want some text that says section as placeholder text, but then I can do times 3, and it'll create 3 of those things, those sections, with the placeholder section inside it. All right, now I got to go up a couple of levels so I can get back up to just inside my wrapper, my main wrapper, so that I can add a footer in there. Right, so to go up a level. Right now I'm inside of section wrapper. So if I go up a level, now I'm outside of section wrapper, inside of main. So if I go up another level, I'm outside of main, but inside of wrapper. Okay, so now I can go ahead and add footer with some placeholder text. Footer. Okay, from what I can tell, this is everything I need. I may have left something out. We'll discover it, right? But now that I've got this whole big string, now I can hit the tab key. Bang! It expands to include all of the structure. Here's body. Here's div wrapper, and you can see everything else is nested inside. Inside wrapper, I've got header and nav and main. Inside main, I've got an article, and I've got a div of section of ID section wrapper, and inside that div, I've got 3 sections. And then backing back up to main, after main, I've got footer, also inside the div. Okay, everything I want. Now, I gotta come up here and coax live view to illustrate the changes. Maybe if I click over in the DOM, I don't know. It's not sure. All right, what do I gotta do here? Reload. There we go. I right-clicked on the live view window and hit reload, and then it used this new code that was generated from Emmet to redraw the page, and it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. So could I have done that instead of all of the insert panel stuff? I could have. So it really comes down to which tool you're more comfortable with. Me being a coder, I like Emmet. You might not. If you do like Emmet, let me just point out Emmet's main page here is called emmet.io. emmet.io. IO for input output, right? And so this is the project page of this open source project. And then if you click on, was it documentation? Yeah, it probably is. If you click on documentation, yeah, then you get all the documentation, and then I like to just go to syntax, and it shows you examples of how to use it, which is great stuff. Okay, if you like this, great. If you don't, you're under no obligation to use Emmet. It's just something I'm geeked about.